What measures are necessary to protect our students, faculty, and staff from violence in schools? Mr. Shirelles.
Well, as a parent, this concerns me as much as anything else. I release my children into these schools every day. I was with my first grader at bedtime just a couple of weeks ago, and she began to describe in detail for me the recent active shooter drill that they had at her school, Irving Park Elementary. She said, "Dad, we hide near the books because then if somebody comes in, we can throw books at them." That's what my first grader knows, and it guts us to have to admit that. And so our schools have to do all that they can to ensure safety and security. I respect the work that the board has done in the past to make sure that we can do the most we can in the entryways to be as safe as possible. But friends, I also have to say, we cannot saddle our educational system and our educators with the primary issue here, which is excessive accessibility of guns in this country, our idolization of the gun above all else. And again, we force local institutions to compensate for failure of leadership at the much larger level. So I want to do everything I can as a citizen and in any leadership capacity, including the school board, to advocate for common sense gun legislation. We must do that even as we do all that we can at the individual level to ensure that our children are protected with everything that we can give them at their local school. I also think safety has to include anti-bullying practices and access to school counselors and mental health professionals that can support our kids through the most difficult times and struggles of their lives. And I'm particularly committed to safety and inclusion for our LGBTQ students and teachers. I believe that has to be an absolute part of any measure of safety that we extend to our students.
Ms. Carter.
Safety in our schools is one of the 4 pillars of my platform. We have teachers that are afraid of their students. We have girls who are fighting other girls. We have boys that are fighting boys. We have both girls and boys that are fighting SROs and the police. We need to understand what these triggers are. I have an idea, but I'm not an expert in violence. We know that the type of violence that occurs in high schools would be different from the type of violence that could occur in middle and elementary schools. At the lowest level, we have generally someone from the outside trying to gain access and kill little children. We need to harden those assets. We need to make sure that teachers and principals and everybody in the school are aware of all of the safety protocols and understand how to alert authorities when they encounter someone who is unauthorized but has gained access to the system, to the school. Now you're moving to the middle schools and the high schools, where mostly you're going to find violence being perpetrated by the students either on their teachers or on each other. We need to figure out what's going on with that. And right now, we don't have a handle on that because there've probably been at least 10 fights. Some of you may have seen them on the internet between boys in high schools and middle schools. We need to get in